I'm on an
What's up,
interview.
y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show, April 8th, episode 35, which is crazy. It's been 7 weeks. On today's episode, I got an amazing guest. I'm super excited to have her on the show. And I always ask my guests, what do they want to talk about? Because I don't necessarily want to lead the narrative. I want them to come with the passion and the energy. So I asked my guest today what she wanted to talk about, and she wanted to talk about family business, which I thought was very interesting and super important. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest today, Dr. Tamara Allen. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Listen, like I said, I'm super excited to have you here. And what I normally do is always send a link out, a quick little link out to my community, let them know we're live. So I'm going to do that right now. So while I'm doing that, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what you currently have going on, and stuff like that. Then we can start talking about family business.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Tamara Allen. I reside here in the Atlanta area, and I am in business with my sons, Marcus and Alexander Turner. The name of our company is called Social Currencies. And what we do is we help individuals fund, invest, and diversify. So it kind of all started from I can't. I would be remiss if I wouldn't tell the whole story. I went to school for architecture and interior design, and I was no longer working in that particular field. And as I got remarried, my husband is an electrician. He was working at the Google plant out in Oklahoma, and he got hurt on the job and fell from a scaffold and got addicted to pain medication. And
Mm.
so we had two kids in college. It was very stressful. A person who's never done drugs and to literally be involved with pain medication and getting addiction, it was rough. And so we were going through what is a really rough time. Our house was about to be foreclosed on. We got two kids in college, meaning his income was now not there. It's just me. And I started to learn the skill set of trading. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I learned the skill set of trading. And what's crazy is my father is a retired options future trader. He was vice president of Persian Stock Exchange in Chicago, but I would never listen. You know how it is, you don't listen to your parents, right? My kids, they didn't want to listen to me. And it was so crazy because I learned the skill set of trading. A friend of mine said, hey, this is a way that you can kind of get out. And it was very hard. Here it is. I did the traditional go to school, got the degrees and all this other stuff. I had made my first million at 32 with a traditional business. And not everything we weren't doing everything online. And so everything has shifted. So being able to learn the skill set of trading, what became my love was cryptocurrency. I traded Bitcoin. That was my thing. And so people were just like, oh, girl, that's a scam, da da da. And I'm like, I just saved my house from going into foreclosure. What are you saying? And it just made me get really involved with understanding that our financial industry was changing. And during that time, my credit was getting messed up because, again, we had to file bankruptcy. I'm charging stuff up the wazoo. And my son ended up graduating college. Thank you. I'm so grateful to that. He did amazing. And I had told him, you guys are required to learn the skill set of trading. This is what got us through, because he's always saying, Mom, how are you finessing money? I had went through all of our money. I mean, what can you do when you got someone that's sick? You're trying to make support them, and then you got two kids in college, and then you're trying to support a household. So as my sons got involved with trading, we all have our own area. My eldest son, Marcus, he's our operations. He's our chief operating officer for our company, Social Currencies. He was involved. He was more into the Forex. I was more into the crypto. But Alexander, he was more into the options and the stocks. So we all had our own. And my husband, he was the one that was trading before us beforehand. He was doing penny trading. So it was like it was just drawing us to it. But as I was getting involved with the industry of trading, what I was noticing was, and even with myself, I was trading round the clock, and that's not how you do it. And I almost burned my house down because I was in the midst of trading. I was
You
falling
mean
asleep.
you got a pot going on?
Baby, I had something in the oven. And I turned the oven on and it was grease. You know, you put a pot in the oven, right? And it was grease in there. I, fried some chicken. And I was trading in the middle of the night, the London session. And I fell asleep at my desk. And in the kitchen, it had engulfed the whole area. And that's because I was like, I got to get these trades in. I got to make this money. I got to do this. I'm trying, And so that was a wake up call because what I was doing was using bill money to trade with. So it got to the point where I said, you know what, we got to stop trade gambling. We got to show our community that we have to stop gambling with our finances that pays our household bills. But we needed to find another way. So as I was looking at my credit, I was like, okay, we done filed this bankruptcy. How can I get around this situation? And I got student loans. It was over 300,000 at the time. And then we got it down to 186,000. I said, how am I going to make this happen? So I started learning more and more about the credit portion. Well, at that time, Marcus, who is known as Chart Slayer, because he was slaying the chart so tough and folks were making money. Alice was killing it on the options. We were able to sustain ourselves. And I remember when I traded Bitcoin, I did like $10,000 in an hour. Okay. Scalping it all the way through. But again, I wanted to make sure that we had to be responsible because I didn't want it to make it seem like it was gambling. So as I started talking to our community about trading, I said, what's your guys' credit looking like? Because here it is, we got to start using other people's money to trade with and not our bill money. Okay. So when I started hearing people my age, because I just turned 54, I was like, they were telling me, oh, well, my credit scores are like 550. I'm like, what? Now I knew what my circumstances was because of what transpired. And even though my scores were still like six something, but to hear other people tell me they had never had a credit card before, or the credit card was 300 or $500, and they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Which meant our community, not just on the investing side and trading side, needed education, but they needed education on the credit side. Okay. Because I had did well prior to our situation. I had made the money. We had traveled the world. We had did the things that we wanted to do. But yet and still, everybody goes and gets into a bumpy road. So with the credit portion, it was like, wow. I mean, if you are in the brown community, the black community, and you talk to people about credit, they are so scared. They're like, I don't do credit. I don't do credit. I was told to stay away from credit. But we have to understand, we have to embrace it because it's a way to leverage and be able to get some of the things that we want. So we created social currencies out of the need to help our community to stop gambling because that's all we do. We hold on to stuff too long. We don't invest when we need to invest. We don't put money away into so it can start creating a residual income. And then lo and behold, you sitting up here waiting on a stimulus check. Okay. No, I don't want a stimulus check. That means you're not making any money.
So many
Okay.
questions I have for you, Dr. Allen. So many questions I have for you. Community, you guys, listen, if you guys got questions for Dr. Allen, drop them in the chat so we can definitely present them with those questions. So I know the episode is about family business, so I have questions about trading and I also have questions about the family business. So I think one of the things that stood out to me, because I've been taking notes, and I always say, hey, if I can host and take notes, if you're watching, you have no excuse. So one of the things that stood out to me is it sounds like you had told your kids that they needed to learn the high level skill set of trading.
Correct.
So I want to understand, what was your mindset when you presented that as not an option but a requirement, right? So and then I want to also ask you, do you would you suggest that to other parents as something that, they should pose for their children to learn as well. So what was your mindset behind, like, you know what, kids, you have to learn that it's a requirement, it's not an option?
It was quite interesting because my oldest son, he was sober, like, not, yeah, mom, yeah, mom, yeah, mom. And I'm like, no, you really honestly need to look at this. And then I turned around and said, if you're under my roof, you don't have an option. I'm sorry, I pulled the mama black mom card. Okay. I was like, you're under my roof. You're still here. You're going to learn the trade because it's going to change your life. And it really took that. I said, it's going to allow you to have the freedom to do what you want to do. If you can just first start out learning the skill set of trading and pay your car note, pay your cell phone. It was the cell phone bill first. Pay the cell phone bill, which was $100, and then pay your car note, which was $300. I said $400 if you could do $100 a week. So you can take care of that. And then the next month we'll start, and Alex was in at Georgia State at the time. I said, and then we sit up and get the car insurance. So if we can cover your major bills of $700-800 a month, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. Wouldn't that make a difference for you? I said, and then the money that you would have actually used to pay that, you could put that in a savings to the side. And so he was like, okay, mom, I'll do that. They were like, okay, I'll do that. Now, Alex, on the other hand, was more of, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh my God, I just did $1,500. And he was walking through the door. He's like, okay, I'm ready to trade. He was like motivated by that. But Marcus was motivated by, let's reduce a bill. Let's reduce one of your bills. So as we started growing on that aspect of, let's take that trade and just start small, an extra $25 a week to pay yourself, the first month. And then the next month we included the car. And then the next month we included the car insurance. Then it started growing and he started making more than what he was making where he was working. Alex, on the other hand, was like, when he started trading, he told his job, he said, oh, I made all my money for the week in trading. I'm not coming to work this week. I was like, Alex, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. He said, Mom, you said to free up our time. So I'm trying to free up my time. I said, but you just can't call your job, tell them you're not coming in. But I wanted them to have the discipline of having a job and knowing, how you have to get up, you have responsibilities, you still have to answer someone, you need to have the discipline. But I wanted them to see the freedom aspect. And we literally just got back from Dubai a couple of days ago.
I know, because last time we spoke, you was like, I'm in Dubai right now. I'm like, ooh, that sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah. We were
there for almost 2 weeks. We just got back Monday. And it was the most, we wouldn't have been able to do that if our credit wasn't straight, if we didn't have the investments in place, if we didn't have sleep money, which is the residual money in place to be able to pay for all of these things. It opened my sons, their eyes to say, I said, so as we're sitting up here jet skiing in the ocean, looking at Dubai, and we were together, I said, now this is the life we're supposed to be living. Not the situation as my mom told me as I was growing up. She was a teenager when she had me at 17. And as we're growing up, she's, I remember her saying, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I told myself I never wanted to be in that situation. I was the first person to graduate college in my family, the first person to become a doctor, and all that so-called title stuff. It means nothing if you don't have any money. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
It means nothing if you are mounted up with debt. Okay. It means nothing. You're unhappy, you're miserable. You're literally, and her term was robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I used to be in fear. I was like, oh my God, my mom going to jail. She robbing Peter. And I'm like, who the heck is Paul? Who are these people? You're a kid when you hear these things. I'm like, who are these people? So I wanted to make sure that my sons had an understanding that you can make a way out of no way. That's one. There's too many resources at this moment in time due to the internet, okay, that will allow you to make legitimate money. So my number one concern is for them to understand the financial literacy side. They, even though we told them you must pay your bills on time, we didn't elaborate as to why you need to pay your bills on time. Okay, because it can affect your credit, it can affect your insurance, it can affect where you live, it can affect on, the type of food you're eating, because if you don't have any money, then you're eating junk food at the fast food place. So if you're eating junk food at the fast food place, then that means you're becoming overweight and you're not, your body's not intact. So all of these things play a role one way or the other. So we have to stop gambling with our lives and start taking things seriously on the financial side, on our health, and how we plan for our future. Because just because somebody says retire, that doesn't mean that you are retiring. It just means you're doing something different.
Something different, definitely.
I have to make this point right here. I remember going away to college. I graduated high school in 1986. My aunt had started her job working downtown Chicago, title and trust. I live in Atlanta. She had a job for 30 years. And I remember in between that time, they let her go. My aunt was still getting up as if she was going to work because that's all she knew. That's all she knew. I'm like, Auntie, you got other talents. Oh, no, I just have to do this job. There's nothing wrong with having a job that you like, but don't allow that job to consume and take over your whole life where you can't use the talents that you have that could create another source of income.
100%. I feel like you're my mom right now. You're like my. I feel like I want to be in this family business too. Again, there's so many things that you mentioned, and I just want to highlight a couple, and then kind of ask you about Bitcoin a little bit. So the first thing is, I really felt that when you was like, with the internet and the resources that are available right now, you can make a way out of no way. I thought that was super notable right there. Talking about how like our community, we need the information on the credit side and the financial literacy side so we can have better choices. Obviously, that's going to make a big difference when it comes down to even what we can decide or choose to eat, which goes back on the inside, which I think is also, needs to be highlighted. You also mentioned trade gambling, which having a separate account that you would use to invest in things like that, not the money you need to pay the bills, which I think also is something that needs to be noted because that's what a lot of people do also. So I want to talk to you about Bitcoin a little bit. So what was attracted to you when you first started looking at Bitcoin? And what was it about that you was like, you know what, I think this is something that I kind of want to start trading. And then how early was that? Because we kind of see what Bitcoin is valued at now. So like, when did you get into it, and what did you see that, this looks like a good option for me to start trading?
I'm gonna be quite honest. We were looking at Bitcoin in 2012, 13, and I was talking to my dad, and he was like, "It's not backed by anything. We don't need to do it." And I'm like, "But Dad, it's like $8. I'm like, we could just look at it and just hold it, and not trying to be funny. We can do what the white people do. Hey, we see something, oh, let's just invest in it and let's just sit on it." That was the worst thing of not doing, was following up using my gut. Okay, I respected my dad because this is what he did for a living. Okay, he always talked about us trading oil and gold and things like that, if to invest on that portion. But I'm like, Dad, the internet is here, so this is digital money. This is going, I wish I could share my screen with you so you can see, because I see where Bitcoin is going. I know where my trades are in, but I also know where the investing part is. And those things are super duper important. You've got to look at the overall, what is going to happen, during that time. I mean, it was like $8, and then it went up to $100. And I'm like, God, Dad, we really need to look at this. It's not backed by anything. That's all he kept saying. He's old school. It's not backed by anything. But he wasn't looking at this fact that we're in a digital world now. Everything is changing. I like to tell people that they need to watch this movie called Ready Player One.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, that's a great movie.
Because it's really telling you where everything is going to go. Okay. And my husband was always about, when he started looking at penny trading and things like that, he's always been about this universe and castles and this and that. So this metaverse, that's what he does. He deals with the metaverse. He communicates with people, metaverse, buying real estate in the metaverse, all of this. Why? Because that's where the eyes are going to go. But to get back to the Bitcoin portion, I knew when I saw it, because when you start learning how to trade, you get excited when you start making that fast money. You're like, oh my God, I made $100 in 2 seconds. Okay. Oh my God. And I was, I'm a risk taker. I'm just being honest. I was a risk taker. And what I was originally trading was the Dow, which is called the US 30. It's called the Dow. And the Dow moves pretty fast when you're trading it. But when I started understanding Bitcoin, and because it was something that I always wanted to do, and I saw how fast it was and how I took $300 to $10,000 and took it to over 100,000 to 300,000, how I was able to save my home. Bitcoin is what I like to call, it's a bitty world, because it is. It's a Bitcoin world. That is the gateway to everything that's going on right now. NFTs, metaverse, tokens, coins. It started with that. So at the end of the day, it's always going to begin with that. Ethereum is super duper important right now. And then when you start looking at the news and people don't pay attention, when you have MoneyGram that was partnered with Ripple, now Ripple is going through something with the SEC, and that's only because they're trying to stop it here in the United States. But worldwide, they are recognizing cryptocurrency like crazy. We were just in Dubai, and here it is. Everything is digital. They're turning everything digital money. US needs to catch up. But what they don't want us to catch up, because they're trying to control the situation, because all they're thinking about is if they don't have banks. Well, what Bitcoin is doing is allowing people who don't have banks to be able to be in control. That is what it is. It's not about the banks, it's about the people. It's about peer to peer.
Peer to
Okay.
peer. Yep.
So once you learn and understand that it's about the peer to peer, that you have the power, you need to look at how Africa, with Akon and what he's doing with Akon City, everything is going to be based on his Akon coin. Okay. That's the currency for that city, which is a digital currency. So everything is going to move towards that direction. The question is, are you going to be left out and not invest into it? And you can have an opportunity to double dip. Now, I do like to tell individuals, just don't look at the coin aspect. What is supporting the infrastructure of cryptocurrency? Okay. You have energy, which are the windmills. Now, here in the United States, you are going to start seeing a lot of mining companies, okay, because they have to mine it, because it goes through 6 verifications when you're sending crypto, any type of cryptocurrency, but I'll use Bitcoin. If I'm sending it to you, it has to go through a 6-point verification through the blockchain, through the miners. The miners verify it.
So real quick, I just want to interrupt you real quick, because I know some people still don't understand the mining part.
Okay.
So
Okay.
could you? So just a sidebar, because I love where you're going, but just a sidebar. Can you talk about what are they actually mining? Because when
Okay.
people think about digital, they're like, well, if it's digital, well, what are they physically mining? So I just want to kind of bring some context to that, and then just continue where you're going, because I love where you're going with this.
Well, mining, the reason how they chose mining is they used it as an example for gold. If you guys remember the stories, the Westerners, they would go out and they would mine, blow up, boom, mine it, and they're digging for gold. Okay. So what the mining does, you have the blockchain, which is like a huge accounting ledger. Accounting. Okay. So I want you to think of an accounting book. I want you to think of this book as the accounting ledger. Okay. That's the blockchain. Then I want you to think of the miners and what they do. They are the accountants. They're the ones that are verifying the information. That's your miners. Those miners, when they verify, actually get a fee for verifying the 26 characters of that information. So anytime somebody gets a Bitcoin or any other type of currency that's digital, you're receiving characters and numbers. They're about 26 in length. It goes through the mining, they verify it through the blockchain, and then it's sent to the other person. Okay. That's what transpires. It goes to the other person. So when we're talking about the mining, it's verification. And there's 6 points of verification before you receive that currency. A lot of people will sit up here and buy Bitcoin through Cash App, and they'll say, okay, what it says, put the address in. That is the 26 characters. That is what they're verifying, those characters through mining. Does that give a better example, Mr. Brandon?
Definitely. definitely. But I'm so happy you said that because again, like the like that vocabulary is so commonplace when we talk about this type of stuff. And I've already I've ran across a bunch of conversations, and then people they don't really understand the context between that digital and that digital and the physical actual mining perspective when it comes to that. So I'm definitely happy that you just kind of elaborate on that a little bit. Yeah, that
I
was
want to give
perfect.
another example if it's okay. It's like you're
Yeah, no,
going
of
to the
course.
bank with a check.
Yep.
So you have a check, you go into the bank, which is the blockchain. The person at the register is the miner. She is validating the check. Okay. And then she gives you the money. Is that a better example?
There you go. There we go. Yep, that
Yeah.
works. That
Okay.
works. That works.
Okay.
Okay, so you were just talking about we sidebar for a second. But you were talking about how that this is like the gateway, right? We talking about tokenization, talking about NFTs, talking about
Correct.
how now like the peer to peer, like this is like these are gonna way this is gonna be the way that people are going to be exchanging, putting the power back in the people's hands outside of the banking industry, and how some countries are already starting to adopt some of this behavior, for currency. So I don't want to interrupt where you was going because I love where you was going with that.
Okay. It's so amazing because when you have an opportunity to go to other countries like Dubai, I was in South America. There are places that are literally integrating Bitcoin. Why? Because they're generally countries that are deprived, so to speak. Especially like when I went to Cali, South America last year. You know, their money is crazy. Philippines, for example. You know, they get paid $3 and $4 an hour, 100 to 120 to $200 a week. Nobody here in the United States can work on that. But if they got paid in cryptocurrency, that's a different story. Okay. So we have to be mindful that this will allow to empower the people. Of course, they don't want you to be empowered because they want you to be enslaved to them, to be indebted to them. So their number one goal is to keep you oppressed and keep you down. By being able to have cryptocurrency, by being able, and this is the reason why you're hearing so many people on the NFT side making millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's because it's digital. And they're trying to say, is this a security? You're guaranteeing this money through a art piece of art. Well, look at what Tory Lanez did with an album, one song, a
Yep.
million dollars, $1, okay, in cryptocurrency. A lot of this is going to be happening. Snoop Dogg he's changing the whole Death Row Records into NFTs. Okay, everything is going to change because it's putting power to the people. The banks and all of them, they're upset because that means they can't get a piece of the pie. So they're trying to quickly create these tokens and coins so you can use it with them so they can still get the transaction. Okay? Because banks don't have money. They don't have money until you walk into the bank and you apply for something because you are the consumer. And because you're the consumer, you are extending your credit. You are the creditor. You are the original creditor. But people don't understand that. And that's what we really give the education on. So people can understand that you have the power. But until you understand that you have the power, you won't know how to use it. And you're going to continue to walk around like the walking dead and be a slave to their currency, which is the dollar. And the dollar is going down in value. The fiat is what it's
Woo,
called.
woo. High level talk with Dr. Allen this morning. I hope you hope you guys got your notebooks out or your iPhone open to the notes section and you're getting these things down. I saw a couple questions come in. So let's hit a couple questions.
Okay.
So Ty's asking, first question is in regards to crypto, what's the best way to learn how to trade crypto? And then also which platform or what are some of the platforms to take a look at?
Generally, a lot of people will either go with certain platforms. I'll definitely love to send people to bitcoin.com. I'm not a fan of Coinbase. Why am I not a fan of Coinbase? Because Coinbase now is with the government. So if they're with the government, they're tied with the US government, that means they have control. So if they have control, that means they'll dictate how much you can take out on a daily basis. I'm not with that, okay? But generally, some people will try to start with Coinbase or Bitcoin.com or Binance, or these are just some avenues. But you need to definitely know where the first thing you need to understand is how to open an account, where to store your keys, which is the 26 characters that I was speaking of. You lose your key in Bitcoin, you lose your money. Bitcoin is not like the bank. It's not a credit card per se or anything like that. If you lose the keys to your cryptocurrency, you have lost your money. So you have to secure that on a wallet, whether it's a cold wallet or whether it is a hot wallet. Now, we kind of go over that in our training because you need to know where to park it. It's like when I talk about wallet, it's like it's a safe. It's a safe. It's securing your cryptocurrency so other people can't get to it. You need to know if you're going to have it online or if which is like a USB port, or if you're going to have it offline. Offline is a USB port, online is a place like Exodus. So you have the Ledger Nano Tracer where you plug it in and it saves all of the data information onto like a USB port. What if you lose it? What if you can't find it? Then you've lost the money. You've lost your cryptocurrency. Then you have something that's online like Exodus. That's another way that you can store your cryptocurrency. So there are many different options that you can have to secure your funding of your cryptocurrency.
So, man, I could talk to you all day about this stuff. This is amazing. But we only have 30 minutes, so it's about that time.
Okay.
So let me just skim through, see if there's any other questions I missed real quick. Okay, somebody asked. Go
Okay.
ahead, Dr. Allen.
As far as trading, you definitely need to make sure that you have a proper training platform or who is going to be your educator. I'm sorry, we don't do YouTube University when it comes to trading. Okay. No YouTube University. You need to find a coach, whether it's social currencies, whether it's some other people, Wall Street Trapper. Now, Wall Street Trapper deals with stocks, but if you're talking about cryptocurrency, then you definitely need to talk to me about that. And you can
Okay,
reach me.
so 2 questions. Do we still have a little bit more of your time, Dr. Allen?
Yeah, I'm good. I left it
Okay.
for you.
All right, awesome. Okay. So 2 questions in the community right now. Question number 1 is in regards to trading. Let me just make sure I missed it. Is there a book? I know you mentioned platforms. We just talked about programs. Is there a book that you would recommend that people take a look at in regards to trading?
My favorite first is you need to know price action, which is the Candlestick Bible. Okay. That is of the utmost importance because if you're reading charts, if you're trying to get your market structure down, everyone kind of thinks that Forex is a scam. It's not a
Okay.
scam. You definitely want to look at the Forex book. There are some Forex. As a matter of fact, let me pull my book out for you guys real quick. You definitely want to be looking, and it's a mindset thing also. Some of you guys think that you're just gambling away and you've got to have your mindset straight when it comes to gambling. Okay. I mean, when it comes to trading. All right. Naked Forex is the one that you need to start with. And the candlestick.
Naked Forex?
Naked Forex is the one you need to start with, and the Candlestick Bible. Okay. The reason why I say the Naked Forex is because it's going to show you how to do market structure. It's going to give you the foundation on trading itself. But the Candlestick Bible talks to you about price action. And you need to know what price action is. Okay. And then there is for mindset. If you don't have the proper mindset when it comes to trading, you will never win. You're going to lose money all day long. All day long. You're going to win, you're going to lose. You're going to win, you're going to lose. So you got to have the proper mindset when it comes to trading. Okay?
So next question we have is, do you feel like the government-backed U.S. central bank digital currency, CBDC, will hurt the decentralization of crypto?
Remember, they're trying to get you to buy their stuff so you won't use the other. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to, they're not going to censor me. Okay. They're not going to censor me. I just want you to read between the lines of that. Okay. If they have their cryptocurrency, then why would you go over to Bitcoin? You're going to use them because I know them. That's the bank. And this is why I bank with this. That doesn't mean it's good for you. That don't mean it's there to help you. They're trying to control the amount of money that you're receiving. I want you to think about that for a moment. And I'm going to leave it on that portion right there. So I want you to really think about, how do I need to invest for myself? This is not about them. This is about you. You don't want them to be controlling your money and the amount of money that you can receive. I'm just saying.
All right. So, Dr. Allen, where
Yes.
can they find you? Let's talk about social currencies real quick. Right.
Okay.
And I've never asked this, but I kind of feel compelled to ask this. Is there a way that anyone from my community could get into the social currencies program, maybe at like a little discount or something, 10% discount
Absolutely.
or something? So let's work that out. So if you're watching right now and you're interested in learning from Dr. Allen and her sons and their curriculum, why don't we do this? Just why don't we do this? We will let me throw this banner up real quick. Right there. Text action to 213-410-4920. Text action 213-410-4920. I've never asked this of any of my guests, but I just feel so compelled because this is what I'm on. This is what I think. We all need to be rich. We all need to be wealthy. We all need to be investing, and we all need to elevate our family situations. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And everything that Dr. Allen is talking about, I'm supporting that information. So this is what I'm going to do also. So first of all, if you're interested, please hold on. Let me go back to the chat. If you're interested, text the word action. How much is the program, Dr. Allen?
Well, it depends on where they want to start first. I really have to dissect this first because I need to know where you stand on the credit side. If you have student loans, things of that nature. I want you trading, but I have to get into your mindset and take you on the journey first. So I need to know where you stand on your credit. I need to know if you have any student loans because I don't want you using your personal money to trade with. I don't want you trade gambling because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take this $500. I'm gonna take this $1,000. Is that your rent? Is that your car insurance? Is it your car note? So I gotta ask those questions first. And then we're gonna go on to the trading and investing side because it's not just that. We're talking about trust. We're talking about life insurance that pays you. Oh, we got so much that's going down. Okay. I mean, don't you want to be paid by your insurance?
For real,
Okay.
for real. Yeah.
All right. Don't you want your insurance to pay you while you sleeping and your trades to pay you? So we got to take you on the journey. Where does our program start? It is a couple of $1,000s. We do have a new program that's coming out that is actually $29.97. But because we're on Brandon's site, don't forget to text action. Okay.
Yes.
You can also follow me on social media on Instagram at Tamara Allen. My name, Tamara Allen. Okay, you can find me there. It's exactly my name. You can follow me. But I want you guys to text Brandon's number. And because I want to make sure when you come through him, you're going to get the hookup. Okay. If you don't go through Brandon, you're not going to get the hookup, is what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm just trying to let you know that. Okay. Because I need to make sure that you guys, even though you will still be taken care of, we want to make sure his community gets that discount of 10%. But we're going to take you on a journey of the financial. Okay. And then we're going to take you on your legacy. You need to understand it's not just about the trading, it's your credit, it's your trading, investing, it's your multiple streams because you got to spread that money out because it's about 7 streams of income. We're going to show you that. And then we're going to take care of the legacy portion and we're going to put it all in a trust because you own nothing. We don't want you owning anything. Okay. We want your trust to pay you. So we're going to take care of you on all sides.
And then how long is the program?
It depends on which one that you want to do. The program could be 3 months, 6 months, or a year.
Got you. Okay. So listen, community, if anyone is interested, please text action to 213-410-4920. As soon as the episode is over, it's going to be available immediately on YouTube. The links and all of that will be below, so you can take advantage of the Imperfect Action Show discount. Hop into Social Currencies and jump into one of these programs, which I feel like if you're even thinking about it, you need to just do it. There's really nothing to think about. The world is changing super fast. Everything's going digital. If you're ignoring NFTs, if you're ignoring Bitcoin, if you're ignoring cryptocurrencies, if the vocabulary word feels like it's giving you a little anxiety because these are terms that you don't know or don't understand, I always feel like if you feel a little bit of anxiousness, that's exactly what you should be learning or exactly where you need to be going. So everyone, please follow Dr. Allen at Tamara Allen on Instagram. And Social Currencies is what? Social Currencies on Instagram? I'm going to drop that too
It's
below.
Social Currencies, plural. Exactly.
Okay. Yep. So let me drop that below real quick so people can tap into that.
Please do.
Yeah, let me see.
May I say something, if you don't mind, Brandon?
Of course.
Okay. Right now, we are definitely really pushing the student loan, okay? And getting folks student loans discharged. When I'm not talking about forgiveness, if you can get it forgiven, you can get it forgiven, okay? Because what's happening is so many people are inundated with student loans that they're suffocating because of the debt to income ratio. So we want to make sure that we're helping you with that, to get from up under that, so you can start investing, so you can start trading, so you can start diversifying it by getting funded and using other people's money. We are no longer using our money to fund our dreams. I need you guys to understand that, so you can have multiple streams of income for real.
You know what? I just noticed you got a challenge coming up, so I'm going to drop the challenge below as well. So as soon as this is over, or if you're watching the replay, click the link. Well, not click the link below. Check in the caption box for Dr. Allen's 5-day challenge. So why don't you tell them a little bit about that real quick?
Yes. That's going to be the student loan challenge. Actually, we're going to definitely tap into that. And if it's not you that has student loans, because a lot of people are now getting smart and saying, I'm not going to go to school, I'd rather just learn a skill set. But we got to get rid of these student loans. Okay. And then we're going to show you how to create a quick digital product where you can literally start generating some income. Okay. Everybody has a talent, but you need to turn it into profit. And you can start doing that. We know, and we have somebody that took an ebook for $37 and did $100,000 off of $37,000. A $37 book. So we're going to teach you some tips and tricks to start helping you make some money, open up your journey on crypto trading and investing and options and stocks. And we're going to just take your credit to a whole nother level. So I'm excited about you learning to fund, invest, and diversify.
Amazing. Well, I'm very appreciative for you creating a space to be on the show. I would love to bring you back in a month or so.
Okay.
So we could talk a little bit more. How does that sound?
Whatever you want. And hey, maybe Marcus and Alex can be on so you can kind of hear from their perspective, definitely. As a family in business. So you can see how we kind of rock and roll as a family in business, because we move as a unit. We do.
Well, why don't we do this? I'll be in Atlanta next week, I think.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I actually got another podcast. I got the On the Pursuit podcast, which is in person. So maybe I'll bring you and your sons on that podcast and we can get spicy. How about that?
Oh, we can make it spicy. We'll be there.
All right, y'all. Listen, it's episode 35. This is an Imperfect Action Show with my guest, Dr. Tamara Allen. It's been amazing. I hope you guys love today's episode because I got a lot from it. So I hope you guys got a lot from it. Text ACTION to 213-410-4920 to take advantage of the Imperfect Action discount on the social currencies, whichever option you choose. I guess you have to, got to assess where you are.
Correct.
Definitely take advantage of it. And we will see you guys next week, episode 36. So for now, take that Imperfect Action.
Thank you. Get with Imperfect Action Show, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Brandon.